Shalom, good afternoon. Welcome to Eretz Israel. I'm Avraham Shira. Today's Torah from Likutei Moharan is very esoteric until you get it. Once you get it, you get it. And he says, we learned last time that the sparks of God are in our food, in our drink, in everything. And Rabbi Natan of Breslev says in Likutei Halachot that when you taste a peach or a pear or whatever the taste of the food you're eating, the kedusha, the holy spark, is in the taste itself. That's where the permutation of the letters of arsek for peach or agas for pear, that's where the letters create combinations that create taste. Now, wait a minute, letters that create combinations that create tastes. We're going from a language system to a fruit taste. That's a big jump across the Grand Canyon of metaphysics. How does that happen? He's going to tell us. So those sparks that are in the fruit are in the letters, and those letters we call sparks. Before we actually emit the words of the blessings, the words of prayers, the words of the 19 blessings of the Amidah, before we emit those words, the letters are in the blood. The sparks of God are in our blood. Is that spiritual enough? The sparks of God, which are letters, are in our blood. So now you've got blood streams flowing with letters of sparks. You know, you need to have a very vivid imagination to see all this. Shehu b'chinat nefesh, and this is an aspect of soul. Soul in blood. Sparks, letters in soul, blood. What is going on? Well, of course, we remember that the letters are not just letters on a page. They are vibrational forces that attach to the Creator's vibrational speech. And so we are mimicking beings that are reproducing the sounds of creation. And that vibrates in the blood because we are essentially giant satellite receivers of vibrations. Well, we're not so giant, maybe a few guys in the NBA, but really, we are vibration receivers. We are tuners. Sometimes, you tune and you get the channel perfect, crystal clear, and sometimes you can tune all night. You can't get anything but the static out there in Albuquerque, right? So, what do? Well, the Rebbe is forcing us to look into these relationships between the elements of creation, from God's speech all the way down to our pleasure when you eat a peach. Let's go a little further. When we bring out these sparks of soul in the speech of prayer, which is an aspect of nafshi yatsa b'dabro, my soul went out in my speech. Your speech carries soul. Your eyes actually carry soul. You think your light projects light? Your eyes, project light? No. Your eyes don't project light. The light bulb projects light. Your eyes project soul. Your speech projects soul. So it's either light in image, it's soul in image, or soul in sound. Nafshi, my soul, Yatsa, went out, b'diburo, in his speech, God's speech, the reciting the speech of the Torah and the prayers. Va'az ma'ale netzotzot, mechaberam yachad, and then he lifts up the sparks from all the blood, from all the blood. Sorry, couldn't resist. Right? He lifts up all the sparks, and then they start to join together. And we learned last time that creates peace and concept and unifications. Va'az ma'aleh, right? We read this, that the sparks, these letters join together, say shalom b'neim, and they make peace amongst each other. In other words, an aleph and a bet and a taf and a yud are not at peace until they reform a conceptual reality that is a channel of an idea into the brain. V'zeu shamru, that we said earlier, sha'ayadei adamim, through our blood, shelo avaret Hashem yitbarach, that the blood that has yet to serve God, the blood that is yet to emit the speech of letters, of those energies, of those vibrations, mizeh ba nitzachon machloket. That's why people fight, because their blood is not fighting for the right thing. You walk into the Beit Midrash of some holy yeshiva in Jerusalem, and you see people fighting over words and every detail of every halakha. But when they finish, they're best friends. Nobody's screaming at anybody, because they take that urge to fight and put it into Torah. Ki ikar hanitzachon hamachloket hu b'chinat hanitzotzot shenefolim. And of course, in the machloket, the argument comes from the sparks that have fallen, that have not been lifted up. Kodem shemechaberam mitukanam, before they are attached together and fixed into useful concepts of ideas that give the soul a chance to come out of the hiding place in the blood, that give our energy a place to express itself. That's why when you really pray, you feel really good afterwards. Well, because God's nice and he sends you a little nice cloud of feeling good? No, because you release all the negative energy in the prayer itself. And all that urge to argue and to win and to be right and to be heard and to be known and all that stuff comes out when you talk to God. And then you release that from the blood into the spiritual atmosphere that gathers these ideas and takes them above. But when the blood is not repaired, it's not, I shouldn't say repaired, refined. It's not filtered from all that energy. That's called blood. You know, like there's 5 kinds of blood in the Talmud, right? And that's an interesting talk unto itself, why, but I'm not going to go there now. Okay, tzarich la'avod et Hashem yitbarach b'chol hatipei dam shenimtza'im bo, that we need, that's why we need to serve God with every drop of blood that's in us. Da'ayinu sheyidaber arbeh b'torah u'tfilah, that he should pray much in Torah and prayer, ad sheyeh na'aseh mekol hadamim diborim shel Torah tefillah, until you take all the blood and make Torah and tefillah out of it. There's a critical mass of energy that we get each day in our soul, and if we don't lift it up in Torah and tefillah, then it's gonna get stuck, and it's not gonna create the releases that we need, and the energy is gonna go downhill. Ki adibur hu mehan nefesh, because as we said earlier, speech itself is an outpouring of soul. And you can tell a person's soul by his voice, by how he talks, by how he makes mistakes, how he gets things right, the grace in which a person talks, the lack of grace. It all of it speaks about the level of somebody's soul. If he's connected or not to himself, to the deeper root of his soul, if he's far away out on the frontier of his ideas and yet to come home to his true self, then you'll hear that too. Well, that's one of the things that you learn in graduate school when you want to be a therapist, but nonetheless, it is, once you see it in writing here, you can relate to it in reality very much easier. And this is the idea of the damim, the blood that is yet to serve Hashem, because there's soul there that is yet to serve Hashem. That soul is kind of shaky. It's kind of angst, you know. It doesn't have a place to go yet. And then when a person does make those efforts and does elevate his speech and his prayer and speech in Torah and prayer, then all of a sudden, the desire to win, the desire to defeat others, the desire to that comes out of the fallen sparks, those letters that haven't been elevated, shehem b'chinat damim, that were the aspect of blood, adayin lo avar behem et Hashem, and then we know that those pieces of the letters of the words that we need to put back into speech to God that fell in the beginning 6,000 whatever years ago. Well, what happens is that slowly we become a conduit of the repair of the original problem, which was the defect of speech that was created by the lies and the blames in the garden. So you see, that was one little paragraph in Torah 75 of Likutei Moharan. But in one little paragraph, we got so much. And it should just inspire us to open the book and say the words. Now, a lot of people ask, well, Avraham, I don't read Hebrew. I don't know Hebrew. Okay, your words to Hashem, your Torah to Hashem, in English or any language that you speak, will still gather sparks. Will it be as direct? Will it be as focused? Will it be as portentous? Maybe not, but that's okay. God knows your heart, and you're with him. He's with you. So, this is a short Torah. We're going to do another few here as we go through the day. Shabbat is coming tomorrow, and this Torah has been waiting to be finished a while. I hear it calling me in the night, and there is much to say, but I'd rather, publish shorter versions of each paragraph so that you can go over it and gather it in before we go to the next stage, because, again, we are building one of Rabbi Nachman's staircases of holiness that take us from one place up to the root of our soul. And then we discover Hashem at our essential essence, at the place where we wanted to go all along. It's a wonderful discovery. You should have it today. And we'll see you again here on YouTube and Facebook. We'll have it on Patreon. Please support us there if you can. And, get on my WhatsApp. You'll probably get a status bar over there. God bless you all. We'll see you again.